Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube, this is Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the Psychic News Network, and today is Friday, August 19th, 2022. Already, TGIF. Let's get to the news. Do I have anything to tell you today that's out of the ordinary? Well, I'll find something. The big news that we really can't ignore, because we have to pray about it or intend or whatever it is that you do to send out positive vibrations and peaceful energy. The nuclear power plant in Ukraine, that the Russians, the rogue Russians, are in the plant and they're threatening to shut it down, which they don't know what they're doing. And it's very dangerous and it's very volatile. So I remember that when this happened back in February, when they were literally shooting at the power plant, and I'm of the mind that I can't even believe we have such a dangerous form of energy in the world. But this is a big plant, and if it melted down, it would be unspeakable. Just the, I don't want to say anything more about it because I don't want to give it that energy. So I did read on it earlier. I got a new pendulum in the mail. So now I have, since I found all my pendulums, now I have about 6. But this is my pendulum. This might be a favorite. This is from a company called Project Yourself. You might want to look them up online, which is where I get all of my jewelry. And I just want to give them a shout out because they help tradespeople and artisans in third world countries, and it's a pretty good company. So here's my pendulum, and I did check the pendulum today about the power plant, and Putin's unbelievable. I mean, if you think that somebody can't control people's minds with their tactics, psychological warfare, he's got the Russian people thinking that it's Ukraine that's in the power plant, and he's trying to set it up that if the power plant has disruption and God forbid an accident, that it would be because the Ukrainians did it. I mean, I know it's hard for normal people to fathom the level of evil, but it's you can't conceive of it. So I did check, and I did ask, is there going to be an accident, which I'm asking now, and I'm getting no. And then I asked about other world leaders stepping in, and I got yes, world leaders will step in. We just really have to use our minds to avert that through our thinking that there will be no accident. I am really, really opposed to nuclear energy. There's no way to get rid of the waste. There's no safe nuclear energy because of the waste. The rods that once they're spent, they sit there and they're radioactive for millions of years. It's insane. So I'm going to take a look, see what the cards have to say about this. I hope you had a good week. I just can't believe it's the end of the week. Thank you to all of you who listened and watched on Wednesday. Corey is feeling a lot better. He told me today, just the latest is that he tested negative for COVID. So thanks for all your well wishes. We're not doing a show this coming weeks because I'm going to go get a change of scenery and go up to Maine. Just for a change of scenery, but I'm still going to be on. So stay tuned. Keep watching my channel and please subscribe if you haven't already. We're just going to take a look at this situation with the nuclear power plant in Ukraine. We really have to stay on this. I know there's a lot of other news, but this is really, really important. We don't want another Chernobyl or Fukushima. Okay, 3 cards. So the pendulum said that there won't be a disaster, will be averted by probably Macron and other world leaders that get through to Putin. But the guides are telling me there's going to be some kind of a deal reached. Interesting. Right now we're at a stalemate. This is about the nuclear power plant, and nobody really knows what to do at the moment. Putin's gone totally out of his mind, rogue. Well, that happened a long time ago, as we all know. There is going to be some damage. Those cups just kind of remind me of the spent rods for some reason. It looks kind of desolate. So anyway, they don't know what to do right now about that power plant. And there will be, I'm actually seeing some damage. The Three of Wands, people come together and they stop it from being a total disaster. So that's what I have on that. Yeah, humans, you know, and it's just, it really speaks to how much control that Putin has over people's minds, that he's actually telling the Russian people, the residents of Russia, that the Ukrainians are attacking their own nuclear power plant. Like, why would they do such a thing? It so reminds me of Trump. Different situation, but it so reminds me of Trump, because Trump says and has said when he was in the White House such ludicrous things. I was thinking today about when Trump would say, I've mentioned this a few times, the reason we have more COVID cases is that we have more tests. Yeah, whatever. And you know, the latest, like, the FBI is the enemy and we need to attack the FBI, and, like, you know, it's just right out of the Putin playbook. It's completely ludicrous, and you don't think that people will believe it, but they get in there and they just hypnotize. They get the tribal consciousness going, and it's unbelievable. Anyway, let's take a look at how Trump is feeling. Let's tune in a little bit. Trump's former friends are dropping away like flies right now, and I feel like his kids, the Trump family, are I get this kind of erratic energy around Eric and around Don Jr. Kind of like very scrambly. Ivanka seems more subdued. Let's look at how Trump is feeling. Giuliani did have to go speak to the grand jury. I think he pled the fifth. We don't really know what happened, but we can take a look at it. His CFO, Weisselberg, is going to prison. Gosh, you know, it's just amazing what people have done for him, and that he doesn't care. He doesn't. It just boggles my brain. So this is where Trump is at right now. He's really okay. Trump is really struggling with the justice system, and this because you see the United States is winning, and this is him in all these challenges. It's coming at him from all over. So Weisselberg is going to prison, and he's got more to say, and he will say it. And I recall many months ago when he first was called in for questioning, that I said that he would, and after that he was mum. Trump CFO of the Trump org, what do we call it, grift org? At that time, I got that Weisselberg would, you know, tell all. And then he didn't. And I was like, I was really sure that he would tell all, but now it's happening now. So, because I just really got that he wasn't gonna do that to himself to just, you know, completely cover for Trump, because he could have gone to jail for 15 years, and I think it's just a few months. This is a star card, which means the United States is winning. The U.S. versus Trump, the U.S. is winning. So I know there's a lot of bluster and violent talk and everything around the FBI, and, you know, people calling for Merrick Garland to be assassinated, and all this baloney or malarkey, as Joe Biden would say. But I did sense today there was a lightness, and the reason that lightness of energy for the collective in America was kind of creeping in, and that's because the Democrats are kind of creeping up in the polls. And even though we don't want to, what do they say, count our chickens before they hatch, we're not at a gloating phase or anything like that. However, it bears repeating that it's good to notice this, and it's good to keep things moving forward. So on that note, I'm just going to tell everybody that Grassroots of Democracy is getting stuff done. And please join us, grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com. I had over 550 people signed up for Grassroots of Democracy, and our group each week is under 20 people. So I'm not really sure what to say to get people to join us, and I'm not upset. I'm happy that we're getting so much done. I just want more people to come. We do meet on Saturdays for 90 minutes, and that's our work time. That's when we kind of get our hands dirty, and you will be receiving a newsletter with the minutes from the meeting, so you know what we're doing if you're on the list. Check your promo inbox or your spam. Oh, I've done it now. I just dropped all the cards. So what I'm going to do, instead of picking those up, because it was kind of sloppy, I'm just going to use these other cards. I dropped like half the deck. Or I would pick them up. Anyway, so it's a time of year that we all like to kind of get away before it gets to be in the northern hemisphere, before it gets to be, cool and everything. And so I hope that you also are going to find time to take a little vacation. Like I said, I'll still be working, but not too much. I was even thinking of doing a channeling session for you from by the lake. Stay tuned. Thank you for all your lovely comments, too. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so let's look at Merrick Garland and the DOJ and the whole, the whole law enforcement. We'll just do a general, all law enforcement, what's going on there. The guides just said, don't worry. We are going to look at the vulnerability of our national security also. I'm going to remember that. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget to read on what I said I would read on. Well, the Knight of Pentacles, this kind of feels like, okay, there are two knights here, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. I'm asking about law enforcement and their safety, and it looks like they have people on the front line, so to speak, that are really vigilant, that are really staying vigilant. Now, I'm just remembering that after January 6th, the insurrection, I was praying my head off about the inauguration, as you maybe were too. And remember when the National Guard, when the White House looked like a war zone? It was, I mean, DC was like a war zone. But we made it through that. So I'm kind of getting the sense, this is our kind of our military that are, because you know what, they take an oath to protect our Constitution and, all threats, foreign and domestic. So that's our law enforcement protecting us from domestic terrorism and protecting the FBI too. The Page of Wands, the Page of Wands signifies that the FBI and law enforcement are getting the information that they need about credible threats to their safety. So I'm not seeing, thank the star, you're our lucky stars, I'm not seeing them, I'm not seeing FBI agents dead or anything like that. And Merrick Garland is fine. He's got lots and lots of security. So just keep your thoughts up, keep your, vibration up, and stay optimistic, and visualize the outcome that you want to see. And join us on Tuesdays for 20 on Tuesdays, where we do that. annettedionpsychic@gmail.com. Type 20 in the subject line if you'd like to join us on Tuesdays. It's 7 to 7:30 Eastern Time, p.m. It's a really good group. I got a couple really good groups going, and thank you all for coming. It makes a big difference. Let's take a look at. Let's take a look at our national security. I was watching the news a bit today and seeing that even though the White House is being really quiet about this, there's grave concern about what information got leaked. That's a risk to our military overseas. It's a risk to us in terms of we could get attacked because, you know, and the Saudis come to mind. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying that we have to figure out a way to stop these attacks on people that are doing their best to keep us safe. We really do have to do something about that. So Democrats especially have to get the message out that Donald Trump and the GOP are a huge, ginormous threat to our security. Boggles my brain how irresponsible they're all being. It really does. And not to mention the latest, which it's all mind-boggling. I just cannot believe, like Chuck Grassley was saying that the IRS and Ted Cruz and all these doofuses are telling people on Fox and Newsmax and all that propaganda, you know, media, that the IRS is armed with AR-15s. No, it's not the IRS. It's the GOP is armed with AR-15s. They're saying the IRS is going to like knock down your door with an AR-15 to do what? To get your taxes? And the fact that people are believing this, I'm not sure how they're believing this. But then again, Putin is telling the Russians that the Ukrainians are attacking their own nuclear power plant. See, it's the same playbook. It's the absolute same playbook. And today, might seem unrelated, but we'll have to get to this too. Ron DeSantis. I keep feeling like Ron DeSantis is going to be in huge legal trouble. And it's been a year now I've thought that. I've picked up on that. And it's been over a year now that I've picked up that he's got a Russia connection, DeSantis. And then, you know, it keeps coming to my mind. Then I found out about his campaign person is Russian. And the way that Ron DeSantis behaves like a textbook fascist is such a glaringly obvious scenario for me that he's in touch, that Putin's, you know, he's Putin's puppet, DeSantis. But he's not the only one. We know that Trump is too, and was. But the good news is that a judge shot down DeSantis's many attempts at being anti, like laws to I don't know, arrest you if you're woke. There are no words. But anyway, the judge deemed it unconstitutional and a violation of free speech. The irony is, as we know, they always point to the Democrats or, you know, like normal people, and they say, you're taking away my right to speak, and it's like they're doing that. Today I was thinking about Disney and what was going to happen with that. And you know, these legal issues take a long time, but I get this sense of Disney really working fervently behind the scenes to take down Ron DeSantis. But a judge kind of already did that. So, you know, we've got like, it's like we're in this time today that we have a balance. Like the scales are like even right now. Like there's some good and there's some not good, and they're about even. Just like the Democrats are squeaking past the Republicans in the polls, and I'm just so happy to be able to say that. I just get a really strong message that we have to keep hitting it hard. Now, our national security secrets. Let's just see what the cards say about where we're at with that. Don't you love my new pendulum? Now I'm trying to think of a yes or no question. It's tiger eye. It's just gorgeous. That's why I bought it. Couldn't resist. I'm really a sucker for great stones and jewelry. It's kind of a problem. Anyway, national security. Yeah, it's just exactly what I was describing. We're just kind of keeping the scales. We're keeping it even. Just kind of, you know, it's like there's a leak in the boat, and we were just kind of making sure that we're not letting the leak get bigger. Excuse me, I don't know where that came from. Anyway, so the star card is America. America's holding steady. And the guides just said allies. Remember, we have allies. But Macron's not too happy that Trump took something that had his name on it to Mar-a-Lago. The Six of Wands. Okay, so this is interesting because I'm asking about our national security. Our secrets have been leaked. We're holding steady. We're trying to patch up the leak in the boat. And the United States is holding steady. We do have allies, let's remember. And Biden really strengthened NATO, so that makes a big difference. And the Six of Wands, this is about, it's actually giving me a sense of the United States citizens coming together more because of this national security threat. September 11th is right around the corner, people. And September 11th, since 2001, is a time that we are all thinking the same thing. We're thinking about how vulnerable we were. We're thinking about how naive we were. And this issue with our, Trump leaking our national security, because let's face it, of course he did. Just if you just look at that, he had these high-level, top-secret documents at Mar-a-Lago for over a year and a half. And all these people coming and going, and then that Chinese lady just was arrested, and I don't know what happened to her, for going to Mar-a-Lago and collecting top-secret information. And, the thing about technology nowadays is, let's face it, my phone, for a while, I thought my phone had psychic powers. My phone is picking up right now, because it's right here, everything that I'm saying. And if I say something about jewelry, guess what's going to be, which I kind of did, guess what's going to be all over my cell phone. So my point is that people going into Mar-a-Lago, they all have cell phones. Do you know anybody that doesn't have a cell phone? Probably not, unless they're very old or very young. And their phones are picking up information, and all they have to do, nowadays you could just, I have an iPhone 13, you can just take a screenshot of anything. So, that's my long way of saying, our national security secrets are out. It's a matter of how many and how top secret they are. I do feel our national security agencies scrambling to change things so that, and operating under the assumption that our enemies have the information. But the Six of Wands is telling me that this issue is actually going to scare people enough people will be scared enough that we will come together as we did, not the same thing, but as we did September 11th. So on that note, I just want to say it's so fascinating. It's all fascinating. It's like, it's riveting. The news is just like, I don't know how anybody could not watch what's going on, because it's like a spy novel or something. It's like, there's a new chapter all the time, and it's this endless book. So what's going on is that the Republicans are starting to scare people. So no wonder they're down in the polls. And Mitch McConnell said it right out today. He said that he doesn't think that the Republicans will be able to take the House or the Senate. And it's August 19th. We have more time to work really hard to make sure that they don't take over, because if the Republicans took over, it would be game over for everything. It would be game over for democracy, and it will be game over for our planet, because they're not what you would call environmentalists. How many hamburgers does Ted Cruz eat in a week? I'm just saying, it's not like he's environmentally like, and I'm not against people that eat hamburgers, I'm just making a point. Oh dear. So let's take a look at the GOP. Let's take a look at the Republicans and what's happening now. And Joe Biden just passed what I call the miracle bill this past week, right? Was that this week or last Friday? It's not been more than a week, and the Democrats are starting to look pretty good to the American people. Fetterman is just, knocking it out of the park in Pennsylvania. Dr. Oz is looking like an absolute out of touch, too rich and too much of a con man kind of a guy. Just not that that doesn't work for some people. But anyway, we're inching ahead. The Republicans are, this is the Seven of Cups. This is like being deluded. The GOP is delusional right now. They're freaking delusional. They're actually thinking that it's going to help them to tell people that the IRS is coming after them with AR-15s. They're just going to pound down the door. Mostly because nobody's ever seen anything like that. And the IRS isn't quite, like, known for carrying around weapons and barging into people's homes. I mean, there comes a point where it's just too ridiculous. So this is the GOP, the Republicans. They're delusional. Thinking that this is going to work is delusional. And they don't have anything to say about how they're going to help the American people. All the Republicans have in their playbook is fear-mongering. That is it. And if you ask me, that tells me that they're all a bunch of lazy asses. Honestly, they're just too, they can't focus. They can't, like, put their heads, together and figure out, what platform they're running on. This new thing about not even having a platform. Remember when Trump ran for president again in 2020? Do you remember he had no platform? So my latest, and if you came to our Grassroots of Democracy meeting last night, you would have heard me say, my latest question to ask people that are your friends and family if they bring up Trump is just to do this. Just to ask them, is there anything that Trump could do that would make you not want to support him? Just to hear what they say. And I urge you not to get into a conversation about it. Just ask that, just general question. So I forgot to look at the rest of the cards. The Nine of Cups, so this is what the Republicans are going to do. They're completely delusional, thinking that their fear-mongering is actually going to make the American people really make them win. This is pointing to the money that's coming into the economy, and they're going to have a struggle with that. So this is the Seven of Cups and the Nine. The Republicans are going to have a struggle with that the Biden administration is making money available to the American people. That's going to be it's going to be a tough thing for them to really fight on, fight back on. It's like, we don't want your grandmother to have her medicine, because I guess it's easier to get prescription drugs with this new miracle bill, the Inflation Reduction Act that I've just named the miracle bill. The Nine of Wands, the Republicans are going to start acting like that they did the things that Joe Biden actually did. They're going to do their best. The GOP is going to try to ride the coattails of the Democrats. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So let's just go to my new pendulum and see. We're just going to ask. And this is based on the present energy. Are the Democrats going to win? Based on the current energy, the Democrats are going to win. So I was telling the group last night that it's really fun to be on the winning team. So join the winning team, because we have fun. It's fun to be on the winning team. It's kind of like being in the cool club, right? Everybody, come be in the cool club. All right. So, who should we look at? Let's see. I would have gone live tonight, but it's just too hot. It got hot again. Plus, I wanted to be a little more focused. And now I can't think of what I was going to read on next. I'm going to go to actually reading about with my pendulum. Just flat out. Is Donald J. Trump going to jail? I always get no. I always have. That's consistent. He's not going to jail. Is Donald J. Trump going to be under house arrest? Yes. You heard it here. It's very consistent. It reminds me of when we were asking in 2020 if Biden was going to win the election. It was always consistent. So, that's all good news, right? It just popped into my head that I want to ask about Brittany Griner. Because I did say a month or so ago that I felt, no, maybe less ago than that I do feel like she's not going to have to serve that whole sentence in Russia. Is Brittany Griner going to come back home? I'm getting a yes on that. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm getting a strong yes on that. And will it be this year? Yeah, it's saying no, but that could change. Will it be in January? It's looking like January. That could change. I would like to see Brittany Griner here come back sooner. Yeah. We can change the trajectory of things, people. I just want you to understand that. What we do, what psychics do, this is my perspective, is we read the current energy. The current energy is so strong that we can predict the trajectory of the energy, and that's what psychics are really doing. I mean, another psychic might tell you that it works differently, but that's for me. So currently, like just with the Brittany Griner question, she is coming home. It's hard to predict time. It looks like it's going to be around January, and we can send our thoughts and prayers, and Paul Whelan too. It feels like that they're coming home. I just see negotiations like, should we trade this Russian prisoner, or there's a lot of back and forth on that. I get a lot of Putin going, well, yeah, okay, we'll do that, and then no, I changed my mind. I'm getting a lot of that. Just real quick, let's take a look at Putin's energy, as hard as that is. I dropped a card. Hang on. Putin's energy. I heard somebody on the news, I don't know who it was, but somebody being interviewed, and he said that this potentially, what Putin is doing is potentially causing a ruckus at the nuclear power plant. So this is somebody's theory. Somebody that was being interviewed on MSNBC, some guy, and he said that this could be Putin's way of retracting. It's an interesting theory of just causing a ruckus at the nuclear power plant and making it really dangerous in some way, so that he can pull his troops out and say that they had to get out because of the radiation, because they're losing. All right, Putin. I thought it was an interesting theory. Like, in other words, that's how the war would end, because the Ukrainians are, it's kind of weird to say they're winning, because there's been so much devastation. It just feels like a weird word. Justice is coming for Putin. So this feels like fairness in terms of Ukraine. Putin is holding on to, he doesn't want to show his card, so to speak. It's all bluff and bluster with Putin. But this does feel like the people on the world stage, the world leaders, actually figure out a way to get him to stop. And it looks like they figured out a way. They're on their way. World leaders are figuring out a way for Putin to exit while he kind of saves face, but that's not a very good way to put it, because he can't save face, but just, it's kind of like does the least damage to his pride kind of a thing. All right. Let's take a look at California. We're having a terrible drought in New England. And let me just tell you that, you may have heard me say this. I've sent about 5 letters to the newspaper. Yeah, about 5 letters. My last one, they must know that I'm a psychic. I said, they titled it, Threat of Water Crisis Coming True. I like that they said coming true. But anyway, my point is, this was when we were having a lot of rain even, but they've had, where I live has gone rogue because gone rogue in the sense that they've just allowed developers to come in and develop, and this might be happening where you are because it happens everywhere, even in Arizona where there's no water. They build all this housing, and they buy their way into the city councils or whomever, they talk to at the meetings that they have to attend for their permitting, and they don't check the resources. They don't check the natural resources that human beings need in order to survive. So we're having a massive drought. It was supposed to rain the other day, and it didn't rain at all. I mean, maybe a tiny bit, but I'm looking at California because California, that whole area of the Southwest, is getting to a point where it's getting to be dry as a bone. So the guides are showing me that there will be some precipitation, but they're also calling for a super flood, a superstorm. I believe we can kind of affect the weather with our thoughts. So, well, that's just me. I've seen it happen. I kind of feel like I've been able to do that before, but maybe it's all my imagination. California and the flood, yeah, it's going to be rough. The Southwest flood, drought. Wow. Yeah, so I'm getting that there, right now the Southwest there's nothing, the Two of Swords they're in a crisis. They seem to feel that there's no solution. I mean, I guess, I don't know if you can have a water making machine, but anyway. They're gonna really suffer. And I meant to say drought, but I said flood, just then. They're working on it. They're working on solutions in the Southwest. We have amazing technology. We have amazing scientists that have figured things out. So I'm picking up that there will be solutions found. And 2 more cards about that. But there will be a lot of suffering. Thank the good divine intelligence that we have passed that climate bill. Right in the nick of time, but not really, because we will see more devastation because we didn't act sooner. That's probably all stuff that you already knew. So let's look at something that you don't already know. Trump's lawyers. They really don't know what to say right now. They're going on Fox and sounding ridiculous. So before we go to his lawyers, let's go to Fox. I heard Tucker Carlson is really getting nervous about the Democrats edging ahead. The race is getting to be even. Reminds me of a road race, the person's in front of you and you're just like, oh, they were in front of me, and then been there. Just gotta really push hard. Fox. And at Grassroots of Democracy, we're working hard at taking down Fox. So, just so you know how much fun you're missing. Well, you know, the chariot is indicating the Fox is really scrambling around. Just like I was picking up the Trump kids are scrambling. Their brains are scrambled. Fox is really scrambling. I get the sense of it's like a tug of war. It's like, there's a lot of that going on today. It's like, should we go this way? Should we go that way? A lot of Two of Swords energy. This is, Fox is kind of, they're trying to put out all these fires. They're trying to, like, curb the damage. Yeah, Fox is having financial issues. And the Moon card, there's a lot of really strong emotions going on at Fox. Like, what it shows is that they're afraid, and the more afraid they get at Fox and Newsmax and these other channels too, the far right extremists, as they get more scared, they get more vicious. They really get more vicious. And that's what I see. But let's ask the pendulum. This pendulum is awesome. Let's ask the pendulum, is Fox going to have to change things? I get a yes on that. Fox is going to have to change things. By the way, this is Tiger Eye, and Tiger Eye tunes you more closely into your spirit guides. Your spirit guides are always with you. This kind of strengthens the energy. So yeah, Fox is going to have to change what they're doing. Is Fox going to have a change in management? Doesn't look like that. Will Fox be forced to not promote violence? No, that's not it. Will Fox be forced to change some of their anchors? Yeah, they'll be forced to change some of their anchors. And will Tucker Carlson stay at Fox for the next, say, year? No. Is Fox getting pushback for the violent rhetoric from the legal system? Yes. Fox is getting pushback for inciting violence. That's kind of big. I think that it's illegal. I mean, I think there's a word for what they're doing, that they're inciting violence and getting their followers to want to do things like assassinate Merrick Garland. Because, not in those words, but it's being suggested. And don't worry about Merrick Garland. Just send him white light and, he's okay. A lot of times we have to kind of look at that every soul that's incarnated onto planet Earth has a role to play, and with that role that we came here to play, we're given we're equipped, we're given what we need. So Merrick Garland, being the brilliant genius that he is, like he's like an Einstein, he's a really smart person, was also given a lot of courage. As when you look at Liz Cheney, for instance, she came in with a lot of courage for the job that she had to do. And if you watched on Wednesday night on Bridge Cape Ann, I shared with Corey that earlier in the day when Liz Cheney had to concede, which was the way it was supposed to go because she has bigger fish to fry. I got the download when she was talking about the Civil War and the 1800s that she was Grant, the 18th president. That came through really strongly. So she has a mission to save the Union. Look it up. Look up Ulysses S. Grant. So since I'm talking about that, let's go to the January 6th committee. I was blabbering. I didn't know did I have a question pending? I don't know. Let's take a look. Focus. Let's take a look at Liz Cheney. Let's take a few cards. I do feel that Liz Cheney will run for president. And I do feel that she's excited about that. And I do feel she's really excited to take down Trump. Really. Doesn't take a psychic, right? Okay, here's where Liz Cheney is. Right now, she's really hurt. She's really hurt that Wyoming turned against her. That as much as she's, got a bigger purpose, it did hurt. The Cheney family was, was Wyoming. We don't agree with her policies, but, she was a bigwig in Wyoming. But the guides are just saying she still is. With, some of the population of Wyoming. This is the time that Liz Cheney is going to go into a little bit of self-reflection mode, a little bit of it's kind of like, going on vacation. Just the January 6th committee meets again in September, but right now things are, she's just kind of laying low a little bit. And she knows it's a big burden, but her soul decided to carry this big burden of saving the United States of America, saving our democracy, and saving our Constitution, and all of it, all of the above. Oh my goodness, look at the time. How did that happen? I think that's everything. So I want to thank you so much for supporting my channel. If you'd like to book a reading, it's annettedionpsychic at gmail.com. Write to that email address, annettedionpsychic at gmail.com, if you'd like to book a session. And I will be back. Grassroots of Democracy does meet tomorrow. And we meet on Thursdays also. On Tuesdays, we meditate for 20 minutes. That's annettedion7 at gmail.com. Type 20 in the subject line. I'll put this all in the description. A lot of you already know. And next week, it's on my mind to do a live stream concert. Still thinking about it. Thanks for all of you who supported my little music clip. And I have Church of Spirituality on Sunday. Please watch. 1:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, that's it. So thank you so much, and enjoy the day whenever you're watching this. Enjoy wherever you're at. We'll see you soon. Namaste.